Hey guys, you're back with Steph Den, and today we're talking about how I'll save $25,000 over the next 12 months. That's my financial goal for 2020, and today in this video, we're gonna discuss our plan that we've come up with for how that's gonna happen. That might sound ambitious, but today we're also gonna dive into why it's not that ambitious and how we're setting me up for success. So if you're interested in this topic and any other future savings, investing related videos, subscribe down below and let's get into it. So now we're actually gonna jump into my budgeting spreadsheet. I've planned out my entire 12 months of the year and I'm gonna show you in the weeds of exactly how I'm gonna make that happen. So let's jump into that. Okay, so now we're in my budgeting spreadsheet and I'm actually gonna show you everything I do to plan out my budgeting for the year in review. So this first tab here, it's my 2020 budget overview, and I've basically mapped out what my ideal month looks like of spending. So all my expenses and what they should look like if every month was the exact same. Of course they're not, so I will dive into my actual monthly breakdown after, but this is my monthly year in review. So the first few here are my fixed expenses. So this is my rent, which is a set amount every month, my utilities, internet, transportation, my phone bill, Netflix, which is my only subscription, and groceries. I consider groceries a fixed expense because at this point I have a pretty set amount that I spend each month, so it should stay pretty consistent. So again, my rent, utilities, and internet, I split these with Den because we live together, so that's why those amounts are the exact amounts that they are. Otherwise, transportation, my phone bill, Netflix, and groceries, this is what I pay personally each month in fixed expenses. So these shouldn't change month to month at all. And my only variable expenses that I have mapped out are the three listed right here. So those are restaurants, coffee shops, and other. Clearly my discretionary spending goes towards food for the most part. So I've allocated $100 for restaurants to myself each month, something that I have to try and force myself to stick to, but that's there. Same with coffee shops, the goal is $50 every month. And then this other category is where I can play around and have a bit more ambiguity. So I've allocated $150 per month on average. This is the only one that I think will really change month to month. There could be a month where I spend $300 on other and then another one with zero. That'd be great. So this is where I can play around with pharmacy, entertainment, any other personal needs that I need to buy each month. So again, if this does stay pretty similar on an average each month, my monthly total expenses should be $1,778.50. So that's what I've mapped out. Again, I also have my yearly total listed because we are trying to look at this from an annual perspective to know how much I can save in a year. So my yearly total is the monthly total times 12 for a total of $21,342 on fixed and variable expenses every year. I also have my income listed below so that I can figure out how much the difference is to know what I can save. I have that blanked out just for privacy reasons right now. Maybe we'll dive into it in the future, but the focus is down below on my yearly savings. So if every single month I spent exactly this amount and it all went according to plan, I'd be saving the leftover of $28,000. Again, we call this video saving $25,000 in a year for a reason as opposed to saving 28. So when I dive into my month-by-month breakdown, we'll see how there is probably about $3,000 of playing room that will go down also into expenses as it changes each time. Again, down below, we do have listed out my monthly savings that actually, how they get allocated, basically. So I have my yearly savings divided by 12 to get my monthly savings, and then how I break those down into my high interest savings account versus my investing account. And the leftover is indicating what's just gonna stay in my checking account as a bit of a contingency as well. So I have about 65% going to high interest savings, 30% going into my monthly investings, and just the extra 5% staying in my checking account left over. So if you're interested in another video breaking down how I've decided how I should save, and we did do a recent video on high interest savings account that I'll link as well for you to check out, and we'll do future ones on the investing piece. But back to the just general saving and what I'm not spending on expenses. So something you may hear too frequently when people talk about how to budget is the 50-30-20 rule. So I have this graphic here that kind of breaks down what you may have heard on other channels and different advice before. Basically what it's saying is that the general guideline you should follow is spending 50% per month of your income on needs. So groceries, housing, utilities, all of those fixed expenses that I talked about before, necessary expenses. 30% they recommend should go to your wants, and 20% only to savings, investings, and debt repayment. And if you've been on our channel over the last few weeks, I think you can tell that we're pretty focused on the savings, investings, and debt repayments. So clearly we want to bump up that percent from 20 and make it a way larger percentage of our total monthly income. So if you look at what we're doing over here on my budget, I'm actually spending about 50 to 52% on my monthly income in savings and investments as opposed to 20%. I think that's a big piece there that's gonna help me get to my savings goal this year, is not focusing on, okay, 20%, whatever is left over goes to that. Instead, that's my first goal. What can I get into that piece? How large can I make that piece of the overall pie? And then break down my expenses from there. So again, savings and investing is about 50 to 52% of my monthly income. My fixed expenses is 40% as opposed to the 50% recommended value. It'd be great if that was lower. I do live in downtown Toronto, so there's not a ton that I can do about the rent piece right now, but that's a future goal too, to get those fixed expenses down. And only 8% of my monthly income is allocated to variable expenses. So restaurants, coffee shops, and that other category. This totally will fluctuate some months. I get that. I'm not trying to be unrealistic, hence that $3,000 of contingency money I referenced before. But that's something that I'm trying to keep as low as I can, as opposed to being a higher amount than my savings and investings, it's much lower. So now we're gonna pop into my actual monthly breakdown. This is listing out exactly month by month how we're getting to those same numbers, but a bit more accuracy, right? And playing around with that other category each month. This is actually the exact template that we have listed on our website, stephdden.com. So on that site, if you haven't checked it out yet, we do free resume reviews, but we also have free templates, so for your resume and also for your budgeting needs. So this exact template is listed if you're interested. It lets you copy it into your own Google Sheet and make your own budget on there. So I wanted to reference that first. At the top, I have a further breakdown of my checking and savings account and how those fluctuate each month. There's formulas in here to show as you spend, how it comes out of your savings and your checking and savings accounts. Again, I have, for privacy reasons right now, blanked out the month to month, but I do have my starting balances if you're interested in seeing that. I'm happy to share that right now. At the top, there's also sections for your income and your savings. Again, further monthly breakdown based on salary, bonus, reimbursements, what types of savings accounts you have. So that's there for you to see. But what I want to focus on, again, is those monthly expenses and breaking these down by each month. So my first expenses are all of my fixed ones that I talked about before. So again, no fluctuation month to month. These ones actually will remain the same unless something crazy happens and I move, which is not in the plan. So again, my rent each month, January through December, is $925. Internet and utilities. My utilities actually technically does fluctuate a little bit, but this is the highest that I've seen in the last few months. Again, cut in half, remember that for Den and I. So again, maybe I could actually save a little bit of money in this category, but I'd rather plan for the highest amount possible. Then going down into more of the fixed expenses, that's groceries is kind of the last one here. I have that fixed amount. It could change a little bit, but this should be what I average out to each month. Now is where you start to see a little bit of fluctuation from my ideal dream monthly budget. So for restaurants, I mapped out $100 each month. This month I've actually gone a little bit over, so I did put $125 in there for this month. Coffee shops, again, I expect to do $50 every month, but I have mapped out some months where I know that I won't be spending at coffee shops. I have some gift cards from Christmas and things like that, so I should be good to go in February. Next is transportation. I do top up $100 automatically as soon as I get closer to zero on my Toronto Transit Pass. So that's $100 every month. But again, if I know some months I'm going to be using it less, I have put in zero there instead because I know it won't be updated that month. I also do have taxi services in here just in case, but the goal is to spend $0 there this year. So next up is getting into all of those ones that really could fluctuate. I do have Netflix first, that's a fixed expense for me. But then when it comes to the rest of entertainment, whether that's movies or any other thing that I want to do, I don't really have that mapped out, right? Because those are gonna come up as they come each month. But my plan is to put them in as they come up so that I can continue to map out what my total savings is gonna be. My phone bill again is consistent. And then again, a few more variable expenses towards the end, and you can change these too if you do use this budget to fit whatever your needs are and what you spend on. But I do have pharmacy costs. That could be anything from prescriptions to needing new body wash, anything like that. Typically you go there every few months, so I've mapped that out according to what I expect, but we'll be updating that as we go. Again, paramedical, vision, dental, gym fees, those are all in there for you as well. In my case, I do get those reimbursed through my benefits through work. So even though I will be spending in those areas, they would come back up through reimbursement. So to keep it simple, I put 0 in there for now, and then finally personal at the end. So again, this is what would fluctuate. So what you can see here is my total expenses each month. And I do want to point out that January, for example, because it's the most accurate month right now, it's wrapping up, I have $1,782. And if we go back to what I wanted my goal, ideally monthly expenses to be $1,778, there's only a $3 difference there. So it is, so far, good example for this year so far, hitting exactly what I want as my monthly amount. And these ones will update as I put more money into my other expenses each month. So all of this wraps up to, if you go back to the top to that savings category, the total savings for the year for all 12 months. And right now it shows that if I stuck to exactly the budget as it is in here now, that I would have saved $26,900 at the end of the year. Again, the reason that I say 25,000 is my actual goal is because I haven't mapped out all those others, right? So basically I have about $1,900 to play with for other discretionary spending throughout the year, according to my mapped out budget. So I expect to hit at least 25,000, if not a little bit higher at the end of the year, as long as I stick to that. So again, we will be doing future videos throughout the next few months and throughout the year in general about how I'm sticking to this if you're interested in that. So if you are, let us know below and we can continue to kind of update you on my budgeting journey and if I'm actually sticking to these goals and if I will still hit 25,000 at the end of the year.
Thanks for watching, guys. We really hope that you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments below if you actually like the style of this video and whether you want to see more videos like this one. And give this video a like and smash that subscribe button and tune in next Thursday for more. Let's get it.
It's the money.